talking to one of our faves now, Mr. Lionheart himself, Anthony Smith. There he is. Hello, Anthony. How are you? Not in the usual spot
Oh,
now. We're in a different spot.
no, I got a new house, so my office isn't done being finished and got all that going on. We're doing new floors and got
Wow.
people running it in. Yeah, so I got a new house. I moved in Monday and then flew to Brazil on Tuesday.
Holy smoke. So I feel like that other house was relatively new as well.
Like 2 years, two and a half.
Damn, look
Yeah,
at you moving on up.
moving on up, dog.
Cause like throughout the interviews, we saw that little cave room that you like. We saw it getting like painted and getting more and more.
Yeah,
And now you're out. Now you're done with it.
yeah. I'm a gated community gangster now.
Look at you! Wow.
We out here.
Would you ever have thought?
Never, never. You know, actually, when I was doing work in construction, I was a concrete finisher. Um, I'd actually done a little concrete in this neighborhood before, and I
Wow.
remember like working on driveways, just sweat and dying in the heat, thinking like, man, I wonder what these people do for a living.
And now you're
Now I
one of
live
them.
here.
That is amazing.
We out here, bitches.
That's amazing. And are we still in Omaha?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're still in.
I'm not that far from my old house, maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay. And just curious, at one point, did you used to live in a trailer? Am I right about this?
No, I partied in lots of trailers though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I've never
like,
lived in one.
but this is a big. I mean, from where you grew up.
No, no, a trailer would have been an upgrade from where I used to live.
Oh, even it was worse than that.
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm
I
all
mean,
right.
this it's amazing to see the
It's an
progression.
upgrade. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a life upgrade. It's my dream house.
Was it stressful to go through all of this right before a big fight?
No, not too bad. Probably for my wife. I
Yeah.
mean, she packed the whole thing while I was in training camp,
Oh,
and
damn.
then we hired movers, and so they moved pretty much everything, and then she unpacked most of it while I was
Oh
gone.
my God. So you got the best part of the deal. You just get to show up into the new house.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to take that trade off, I still had to buy it.
That's true. All right. Am I right about this? Was that your first? That was your first time in Brazil since the Thiago Santos fight, right? Not as a
First fight, yeah,
yeah, not as a
yeah,
commentator or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. First fight,
Did you
yeah.
think of that sort of thing? Like, did that cross your mind? Because that's still your pinned tweet, right? That's like the crossroads of your career. Did you
Yeah.
think about that? Like the route that you have taken since then, how far you have come since then, but this also may be being a chance to right the wrong of Brazil in your life.
Yeah, well, I don't have Twitter anymore, but it was until I got rid of it. Yeah, I got a lot of history in Brazil. My UFC debut was there. My last fight at 185 was there. Um, and historically, you know, I hear what people say. Anthony doesn't win in Brazil. He has a tough time with Brazilians. Uh, all of those things have been true up to this point. So it was nice to, I don't know, just put that to bed a little bit, I think.
Why don't you have Twitter anymore?
Oh, it's just a toxic place.
Yeah. I took a 10-day
Yeah.
break.
I'm not a big social media person anyways. It's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like it's just a dumpster fire. And it like I use social media for work. Well, I don't really get anything out of it from Twitter. Like I seen more murders on Twitter than I seen like fight related stuff. And like I'm not exaggerating. Like just full on people being murdered on Twitter.
Jeez.
And you can't look away. So I had to get off of it.
I was worried for you on the fight week pre-fight thing where you said like the fans are dumb and all that stuff. I was like, no, people are gonna just listen to this part and come after you.
I don't see it because I'm not
Okay,
on Twitter
perfect,
anymore, so I don't
perfect.
know what they say.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
I don't read comments. I don't care.
And so okay, so you were going
What
into
was I wrong?
about which part? That they just read the headlines?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like that's just I don't think it's like an MMA fan only thing. I totally understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was actually one thing that you said that I thought was really interesting. Of the majority of the analysts, you're one of the very few that is still active, if not the only. It's
Hmm.
maybe just you and Cruz, right? And you're way
Yeah.
more active than he is. So I can understand why fans sometimes think that like when you're being critical of Alex Pereira, you're doing it from like a hater standpoint. You're trying to pick a fight when you're just
Yeah. No, I'm. They can't separate. Like, if I could ask if anything of anybody, like separate what I'm saying from me being an athlete and me being an analyst and criticizing someone's game, because that's what I'm being paid. That's what I'm being paid to do. And I'm not saying that they aren't great here or they do this a little bit different or this needs some work, because that's what I'm saying I would take advantage of. I'm just looking at it from an unbiased point of view. When I'm talking about Alex Pereira, I can't say it enough times. I don't know how much more they want me to ride his dick. I think he's amazing. I think what he's doing at this level for this amount of time and this early in his career or this short of a time period is amazing. But I wouldn't be like, ESPN doesn't pay me to not be honest. I have to be honest about where his skill set is, and it's a bit limited. And I don't know why that is so crazy to say. I don't know why that's crazy to me.
It's just because he's beloved right now, and so any criticism people are saying.
Well, I'm using it as a way to build him up and saying like, look what he's able to do with what he has. It's amazing. Like now, if we're talking about him as a potential opponent, my conversation would be very different. We'd be a much different conversation. But I'm just talking about his, and it's not just him; it's everybody. Like, just talk about their game and what I see.
So I know you don't have social media, but did you see the video of him sleeping while you were being introduced? Did anyone show you this?
No. Oh, I did. Yeah, someone showed me the video. I didn't.
What do you make of that?
Anything? That's weird. It's weird.
I feel like he's trying to pick a fight with you.
I don't come. That's what's weird. Like,
why is that weird?
I don't come for him. I've never come for him like that. Like of course you have the title belt in my division. So of course when people say, what's your goal? I want to fight the champion. I want to fight Alex Pereira. But like, he goes out of his way to like pick at me and which is fine. Like, it doesn't bother me. I think it's awesome. Actually, it's kind of a lot of fun because he has a sense of humor. Like I've always said, that he's not this guy that's just a serial killer mindset. He's got a sense of humor. He's funny. He has a really good pulse on social media, and he does a good job of like molding and weaving in and out of media stuff. Like he's very, very intelligent. And so like, I enjoy that part of it. It's just weird to me.
Okay. So 50K, 5 minutes of grappling. You start on Pereira's back with hooks in. So how do we make this happen? How do we make it? Like, is this
I don't know. That's up to him.
No, but like, I feel like
that's here's another thing I catch a lot of shit about. Everywhere, like, well, of course Anthony wants to grapple Alex Pereira. Of course he only wants to do one part of mixed martial arts. It wasn't my fucking idea. It wasn't my fucking idea. Every single time grappling, I'm going to say it again. Every single time grappling has been brought up with Alex Pereira, he fucking brought it up. I've never challenged him to anything, not even a fight, because I haven't been in a position where I could confidently call him out. Like the answer to whatever the fuck he wants to do is yes. If he wants to fight, box, kickbox, wrestle, fucking thumb wrestle, checkers, chess, Halo on Xbox, I don't give a fuck. Whatever he wants to do, the answer is yes. But I'm not the one who keeps challenging him. If he wants to grapple, yes, I will absolutely do that. I would choose that over everything that I just said. Like, that would be the most fun for me, for sure. But I'm not the one who keeps bringing it up. So it's all these fucking idiots that keep saying, "Well, of course he only wants to grapple." I'm not. It wasn't my fucking idea. I just agreed to it. Yep. 50K on your back, hooks in, seatbelt grip, go 5 minutes. Fuck yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
After the win on Saturday, though, do you feel confident in saying, "Let's actually fight for the belt"?
No. It's just one at a time. It's one at a time. Whatever's next is next, and
but there's no like clear cut number one guy.
I mean, if that's next, then that would be next. I mean, I'm totally fine with that too. But I'm just not. I'm not going to blind myself with it. Yeah. Like, and oddly enough, that mindset came from Glover Teixeira. He's the one who gave me that idea when we grappled in the Fight Pass Invitational. Me, him, his wife, and my wife sat, had a couple drinks, and really, really enjoyed each other. And Glover gave me a lot of life advice, a lot of career advice, and that's what he did. He just threw himself 100% into every single fight and just took one at a time. And he just put enough one at a times together, and he found himself in a title fight.
Wow.
And at the time, some of the advice he gave me, I took right away. Like some of the training adjustments and just adjusting to your age and how you approach things, and some career stuff, a little bit of financial advice. Like, he's a really, really smart guy. So I took a lot of that right away. But even when he said the whole, just take it one at a time, throw yourself in every fight, I kind of went, yeah. Like, kind of checked that. But that wasn't like a focal point of what I took from that conversation. But then as things roll on, you start to see that thing in the back of your, or like remember that thing in the back of your head. And so I just like, well, fuck it, let's try it. And I like it. I liked it. There was no pressure. There's no stress. I'm not even worried about wins and losses. It's just performance based. I want to go in there and have the best performance I possibly can, one fight at a time.
By the way, was this before or after you fought him?
Oh, this was after. This was not that long ago.
Ah, I love that.
That him and I grappled in that Fight Fast Invitational.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How are you feeling going into this fight, considering the Khalil fight and, it didn't go your way and short notice, all that stuff. Here you have a proper fight, big stage, up there on the card. How was the confidence going into this one? How are you feeling?
It was different than I'd ever felt before, for
Really?
sure. I just, yeah, there's really no pressure. I felt really good. I had a really, really good training camp. I was 100% uninjured. Can't really remember the last time I had like a full camp and had no bumps and bruises. Like that's really rare. So I felt really good physically. I was in really good shape. My conditioning was really, really on point. Um, I got a bunch of different looks too. I bounced around a little bit, not intentionally trying to train somewhere else, but because of some of the travel obligations I had. I was able to go train with like Waldo Costa Cortez, with Javier Torres in Arizona. Like I got to bounce around over there for a little bit. I spent some time with Nixick in Vegas, so I got a bunch of some fresh eyes, and just like little tidbits from guys that I really respect. Um, and kind of sometimes it's a little bit refreshing when you get like really hard pushes in the middle of camp, but you're not in like your normal spot. It's like kind of refreshing. It just breaks up the monotony a little bit. So that felt really good. Um, I wasn't as hated in Brazil as I expected to be. Um, of course, I got booed and they were chanting and whatever, but I had a lot of love before. Took a lot of pictures. A lot of people, kind of like, we don't really want you to win, but we're big fans. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate them like sticking with their guy, but like also like respecting me enough to want to high five or fist bump and like fan of your career, or whatever. Like, I got a lot of love while I was there. Um, I just felt really good. Just it's super focused too. Like there was a lot of pre-fight stuff that was different. I think I made a lot of people nervous on my team. Like it's kind of things that I always do that, like as we're getting like the night of the fight, like there's a couple tells that like I've kind of flipped the switch and we're on, and I didn't really do any of them. I was just kind of hyper focused and just felt how I felt.
Any particular reason why this was different in your mind?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying not to overthink it too much,
Okay.
and just I used to try to manufacture things, and like you have success in a certain way. And so you want to try to recreate that. So whether it's I played this playlist and then this long before the fight, I got
Yeah.
started getting my hands taped and then I started warming up and then like, so you try to recreate success. And I don't know if it was just me taking all the pressure off of myself and just going and having fun. And I was like, I guess I'll get my hands taped now. And like, oh, I'll probably go change. Like nothing was really timed. It was just kind of just how I felt. And typically like I got to warm up for this amount of time, like, but it was kind of hot in the arena. And so I got warmed up really fast. So I didn't really have to do as much as I typically did. And I think before I would have been stressed about that. Like I have to get to that amount of time of warm up. Like, yeah, I kind of feel good. Let's go.
I
Like
want.
I just was very free. It's very free.
Is that maybe just a byproduct of being older, mature, evolving as a human? Like you're just comfortable,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's some of it. Some of it's the matchup too.
right?
I was really comfortable with the matchup. Um, there wasn't a lot of thinking, like additional thinking involved in the matchup. Uh, there wasn't like anything that really kept me up at night with Vitor Petrino. So like I just felt really good kind of wherever it happened. I think when you go in there with, I don't know, I mean, even a guy like Khalil, like you kind of know where to go and where not to go. And like the spot that you don't want to be is one of the tougher ones to deal with. So I think that stress has a lot to deal with it. There wasn't that one thing with him that I was really worried about. So I was just very free in there.
Considering that, were you thinking quick finish? Were you feeling that? Were you expecting that?
No, I thought it would be longer. I did. I thought it would be longer. I thought I would, especially like Brazilians in Brazil, they're they just suck up so much energy from the crowd because there's so much passion in that arena. So they're all hyper aggressive really early. So that was kind of why I was a little bit, I don't want to say hesitant to engage, but I was definitely a little bit standoffish. So I didn't want to get into a firefight because I knew he was just super hype. You could see him like twitching, like he just wanted to go so bad. So I wanted to let that kind of die off a little bit and kind of bring him back down to earth. And we just found myself in a finish. But I thought we would have to hang on his head a little bit, clinch, push him up against the fence, get him throwing and missing, and take the edge off of him just a little bit. I didn't expect it would be that fast.
Did you ask Bruce what happened there with the announcement? Did you say he wasn't messing with you? Right? That was just a brain fart, right?
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often,
Yeah.
really. Being on the TV side, if it was going to happen to someone, I'm glad it was me, because I understand like how much is going on in Bruce's ear, and
That's true.
people are talking to him. People are in person talking to him. He's got a microphone. He's got all these papers in his hand. People are in his ear. He's listening to traffic in the truck, trying to pay attention to his producer or his manager, like his stage manager. He juggles a lot, and I don't think people realize that. So, me being on the TV side, I get it. I totally understand how like that can, he sees the finish, knows it's a guillotine. Someone comes up, and rather if they're, I think his stage manager, I think he said he didn't understand him when he said it, so he thought he said Vitor Petrino, but I don't. Whatever. I was good with it. I kind of felt bad for Bruce, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. Did he
'Cause
say
he's
anything
so
to you?
professional. He did. Yeah. I went up to his hotel room afterwards,
Oh wow.
hung out a little bit. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming he was very
felt-
apologetic and
Yeah. Of course.
because he felt like he robbed you of the but like it is amazing considering how much he does, how how little he screws up. All of them, Joe Martinez as well, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There's
As
so
many calls as they make,
yeah.
it's crazy that they don't have more slip ups there. So it's a rare one for Bruce.
Are you hoping to fight stateside next? Do you like these international assignments? How do you feel?
I kind of like the international ones.
Really? Why?
I kind of like them. It's a lot less pressure, a lot less bullshit to deal with.
Really? In what way?
Yeah, remember I told you I love fighting
Yeah.
and I love training. I'm liking the stuff around the game a lot less. A lot less.
What do you mean by that?
I like being involved in like the fight week stuff when I'm on
Okay.
the broadcasting side.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like the promotional part of it, being on the desk and hyping the fight and talking about the fight. I love that part of it. When I'm on the other side of it, I don't like it as much as I used to. I kind of want to kick it back to the regional scene. Like, fly me in Thursday night, I'll weigh in Friday morning, and let's go fight on Saturday. Like, I don't, and I know a lot of fighters like that's their favorite time, and that's how I used to be when I was younger. I got 57 fights. That's over a year of my life just in fight week.
Right.
I'm just over it, and I know it's part of it, and I got to do my job, and I do it when I get there, but yeah, I don't know, I like it less, so it's a lot more stateside, especially if you're fighting like if it was up to me, I'd just keep fighting the hometown guy in his hometown, because usually all the promo and the large media schedules and all that stuff is on them.
Do you think you'll ever regret this feeling? Meaning, do you think when you're 60 and be like, man, I should have enjoyed those final I mean, let's be honest, there's not 20 left, probably, right? I would imagine.
No,
Are there
definitely not.
Are there 10 left? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So like, but do you think like the fact that it's kind of like a drag now, do you think at some point you'll miss it? You'll regret it?
The fight week part of it?
Yeah, just like everything that goes into
Like, not
being
like
on the card,
Yeah.
like being one of the guys.
No, because I've never, because even like normally I just spend them all the time in my hotel room anyways. Like I'm kind of a loner, Ariel. I spend a lot of time by myself. So most of fight week, if you don't see me doing in media day or doing an interview here, or doing an interview there, like you can guarantee that I'm in my hotel room by myself. And then at nighttime I'm training, and then eventually we get to the weight cut. And then after the weight cut, I'm in my hotel room all day by myself, hydrating and eating, and I go out to a dinner, and then I'm back in my hotel room by myself. Like all of training camp, if I'm not in practice or on the BYM or doing my radio show or whatever, like if you don't see me, I'm by myself.
Right.
So if I'm going to be by myself, I'd rather do it at home.
Did you not get at least like a little acai on the beach or something like that? None of that?
I had some Steve Weisers on the beach Sunday.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
No acai?
That was just Sunday day.
Do you know what acai is?
No.
You like acai?
Yeah, no, I think.
Really?
No, I'm more of like if I'm in Brazil, I'm going for all the steaks.
Did you go to steakhouse?
I did a weigh-in dinner, and then on the beach, there's this really good little shack that They have this like big platter, and they have like 7 steaks on it,
Oh,
and
geez.
rice, and there's real good Brazilian eggs that they cook, and fries. It was a good time.
Did you go to one of those where like you flip the green thing and then the red thing and then they keep coming with the thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Those are
yeah.
crazy, man. The
Yeah.
amount of
Turns out they don't call them Brazilian steakhouses in Brazil.
what do they call them? Just steakhouses?
It's just steakhouse.
It's like
Yeah.
Canadian bacon.
Wild.
We just call it bacon.
Yeah. It's just bacon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And by the way, you mentioned Roundtree, and obviously I know your
Hmm.
relationship with Jamal. I love that fight. I'm just curious
I love it.
how do you see it playing out? And do you?
As a fan,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Are you surprised Jamal's coming back so soon?
No, no, he he's got a lot of things I think he needs to work out from that Pereira fight. He was out for a while, like
Yeah.
the first time back after a big injury, coming right into a big title fight at UFC 300 like that is a lot to ask. So I think he's ready for like a redo. Like all right, I got that out of the way. Let's just go and let's do it for real. I guess this time it probably feels more real now. Um, it's an interesting matchup though. They both have very odd styles. I probably would imagine they haven't fought a fellow southpaw in a long time,
Hmm.
at least a super high level one. Their styles are very unique. Like Jamal isn't something that you can kind of look at and say, "All right, he throws this and this and this." He's very reactive. He has really good eyes. He's really accurate, but it doesn't quite look right when it's in front of you. It's very unorthodox. And Khalil's very similar. Khalil's speed is a problem. It's a real deal problem. I mean, I had a tough time dealing with it. Not that I had a lot of time to prepare for it, but a guy that I really, really respect in terms of his kickboxing, Dustin Jacoby, spent a lot of time all over the world kickboxing in glory. Um, had a tough time dealing with it, and that's a guy that I've rarely seen run into problems where he can't figure it out, and he had a tough time figuring out Khalil.
I'm happy for Khalil that he's getting an opportunity on a big stage. It feels like he's just been fighting
Yeah,
on
it's good
the
for him. It's cool.
yeah.
He's been around a long time. It's kind of cool seeing him get a little bit of shine.
Especially a card like that, the Connor card. I feel like I put you in the same category as a Dustin Poirier, like a lifer, a guy who's been around, who has seen so much ups and downs, but has just stayed the course and is still there, and maybe getting closer to the end, but still there and still a player in his
Got his
respective
first guillotine,
first guillotine. Was that your first after all this time?
first one.
Holy sh!
The only reason I thought about it was when I was in Miami and Dustin kept saying, you missed every
Yeah.
guillotine, you don't jump. And then I was like, fuck, I don't have any guillotine finishes my whole career. I don't have
Wow.
any guillotine. I don't even know that I've ever jumped one in a fight.
And that was
Uh,
a crazy one.
so
That was a
like,
crazy sequence.
yeah, like a few weeks ago, I was talking about it in practice, and I've been hitting them like ever since then. I just keep finding myself in these guillotines. And I've said it probably 20 times, like, oh man, wouldn't it be sweet if I got a guillotine? And like, here we are. It's pretty crazy.
How did the thought cross your mind as you're locking it in? Like, holy shit, I'm close to a guillotine, or does it only hit you afterwards?
Not initially. Not initially. I was just using it to defend the takedown. I thought that by threatening the neck, he would back out, and I was hoping I was going to bang him up with a big elbow when he pulled his head out, but he didn't. So I just kind of locked my hands and started to cinch it up a little bit, and then I felt like his muscles tense, like he was gonna lift, and just kind of made a deal with myself. Like if he lifts, I'm gonna go for it. So
And
as soon as he lifted, I just sank that fucking thing.
oh man, it was
I
beautiful.
was counting money before my back hit the mat.
Is that one of your favorite finishes?
It's one of the yeah, probably yeah, it's up there. It's top 5 for sure. That was fun.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Especially like being up in the air,
Yeah,
knowing like because there's kind of a risk reward thing there too. Like you have to make a conscious decision. Like you got to hold on or let go and try to brace yourself on the way down, or like let go of the head and try to get your feet back to the mat, um, and maybe mitigate the slam a little bit, or you just hold on to that son bitch and ride it out. And I decided to send it.
what did it? What should he have done? Like if you could offer some coaching there, some analysis, what should he have done to get out of it?
Well, I think it's so I threw a leg kick. I threw like 3, and then I seen him take like a gingerly step, and like his leg was starting to bother him. And right then and there, I knew that I was gonna win. Like I knew for sure, like I was already really confident, but right then I knew there's no way he could beat me because I knew that I was a better grappler, and like his forward and back motion, like he was in so fast and out so fast. That was like the biggest issue. The hand speed wasn't a problem, but I was a little bit shocked at how quickly he was in and out. He's super athletic, but once his movement in and out is compromised, you kind of sit and duck out there. And like he wasn't going to be an explosive wrestler with a compromised leg, at least in terms of the speed. So I was feeling pretty good right there. And then when he shot with his head on the outside, if I was his coaches, I would talk about switching off to a single leg, running the pipe, or sticking your head all the way in and trying to turn a corner on the fence and go to my back. Um, Lifting on a double leg with your head in a guillotine is very silly.
Yeah.
Even he didn't fight the hands early enough. Like if you lift and you feel them going for a guillotine, you got to kind of bail on the slam and start fighting the hands right away. I suppose last ditch, you can tripod up and bury your head as deep as you can get it to the mat. Like we were pretty close to the fence. Like if I was him, I would have turned my head, like would have not panicked. He kind of freaked out and panicked and started pulling out and trying to get his head out. Like if you pull out of a guillotine, it's only going to get tighter. So he didn't try to pass. He didn't, I suppose if he would have turned my back to the fence, so like my shoulder blades would have been up against the fence and stacked me up, I wouldn't have been able to extend it at all and like expand my chest to make it tighter. And he would have been able to kind of sit there and chill for a second. If he'd have done that, I probably would have bailed on it.
Wow. Amazing. The finer details are incredible. Going back to
I almost let it go.
Really?
I almost let it go.
At what point?
When right before he tapped the first time, I was trying to turn to my left. And so he rolled to his right side, and I thought he was giving up the mount. So I was going to let it go and just mount him. And then he rolled back to the other side. So I actually let go just a little bit. So he tapped and then started fighting it again because I think he thought I was letting go. And so when I felt him roll back to the center, then I just sunk it again and went back again.
Oh, man.
But I almost let it go.
That's
because
crazy.
I thought he was just going to give up the mount and bail, which is another thing he could have done because I would have let it go.
Right. So Dustin loves the guillotine. He says he's going to go for it again. What kind of a chance do you give him against Islam?
With a guillotine?
No, just in general. Just to finish the story.
A better chance, I think, than a lot of people are. I think that he's got a lot of momentum right now. I think that there's a lot of comparisons with Islam and Khabib, but they're very, very different fighters. I think the biggest difference is Islam is willing to stand and strike with Dustin, and that gives Dustin a lot of opportunities to do well. I think if he can move his feet and force Islam, like Khabib had a different mindset. Like he would just wade through whatever you were throwing. If he could get a hold of anything, he was going to start climbing it, and it's kind of like a snake. Like he gets a hold of you and he just starts sinking and pulling you in, and it just gets worse. And you just keep, it's like quicksand, it gets deeper and deeper. Islam doesn't really fight like that. Does he have the ability? I don't know, but his skill set is more diverse. So he's willing to do more things. I think that opens up a lot of opportunities for Dustin, especially if Dustin can land early and get Islam. He needs him a little bit nervous and have a healthy bit of respect for him coming into range. And I think he can be really successful. But I think it starts really early. I think you're going to know right away.
Right. So that's coming up. Last thing for you, and again, thank you for the time, especially during this hectic move and whatnot that you're dealing with. How soon do you want to return? And have you thought of anyone since you fought on Saturday?
How quick? I'd like to take the summer with my kids for sure. Because I didn't get to last summer because I fought at the end of August. So I kind of trained through the whole summer, which really, really sucked. Just miss a lot, like it's just not fun. So I would really like to, it would take a lot. It would take a lot to get me back in a training camp through the summer. So I don't know if that really answered your question.
No,
but just I'd like to take the summer off.
Okay.
And then not off, just not in training camp. And I haven't really thought of anybody, to be honest. I don't know when Blachowicz is going to be ready again. I think that'd be a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple rematches that are out there that maybe would be opportunities, but I don't know that any of those guys are.
You think they might try to run back the Rakic thing?
Potentially. Yeah, that was kind of the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
Think, maybe. I'm open to it for sure.
sure. Yeah, I think it could make sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of open to anybody. If I'm
Right.
being honest. Like mostly. I would like an opportunity to fight up though.
Yeah,
I would
of
like
course.
that.
Well, is he
I feel
is
like I'm the only guy. I feel like I'm the only guy that you drop one and like, fine, I'll fight back one time. And like, I feel like I'm the only guy that does that consistently. Might be because I'm the only guy losing consistently though.
Well, you're back.
Who knows?
Yeah, you're back in the winner's circle. Well done. Congrats. So very happy for you. What a win as well. Holy shit. It was beautiful to watch and enjoy all the
Hey,
fruits of
what'd you
your
think of
labor.
Pantoja Usyk?
In terms of like the
How'd
scorecard,
you have that scored? Yeah,
3-2, 3-2 Pantoja. Chael, who's
it's a good
coming up,
fight.
had it 5-0.
5-0. I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen that.
What did you think? Did you watch it?
I haven't watched the beginning to end because I
Okay.
was doing all my media stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, sounds like everyone's kind of split on it. But yeah,
I don't think
seemed
Usyk
like
did enough. I think two
I
is
watched the
nice.
first 3 rounds,
Yeah.
but
It's a
it
great
looked
fight,
like
man. It was a really great fight.
I'm a big fan of that Usyk kid. He's
He's
real good.
he's really good. He's really big. I don't know how he will continue to make 125.
Do you think he's kind of on borrowed time there?
It just, I mean, he even said this was his worst weight cut, and he had to make 125 on the dot. Obviously, there's no extra pound, but
That's funny that you say that. I sat next to him before we went to ceremonial weigh-ins. Him and is it his dad?
yeah,
See, his dad. Okay, I think it was him and his dad. And I said, "Oh, how was your weight cut?" And that was the first thing he said. No, it's been a long time, so I had to make actual 125.
exactly. Yeah.
It's funny
So
because I didn't know that he had said his weight cut was bad, but that was the first thing he said. Like, oh, it's been a long time, so I had to make actual 125.
but I give him a lot of credit, man. He came out of nowhere and, people were clowning on the fight and he freaking went for it, He didn't
Yeah, it's a
crumble
good fight.
under the pressure, under the Brazil pressure and the fans and all that stuff. I like Pantoja a
Yeah.
lot. That weight class is always going to be a tough one to, really become a moneymaker, but they always produce fun fights. I think they
Who do you
serve.
go with next?
That's a great question. I think that you mean Pantoja?
Yeah, for Pantoja. I think
He's
Usyk can probably fight whoever he wants.
Oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, there's so many guys. I think the best thing for Pantoja to do is to let the queue build up a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing Makhachev against Albazi. I don't think
I'd
anyone.
love that. Yeah, I would love that fight.
I don't think
I don't think
anyone
you can
is.
slide Makhachev in right now just because of he's not finishing.
I mean, how could you slide him in now if he was also available and you didn't choose him for this fight? Like
That's fair.
Usyk and him fought on the same card, and they chose Usyk over him. So you need to
Right.
obviously do something to win them over. And so I would
True.
do Makhachev Albazi, and I feel like we need to see Manel Cap fight someone to get back. And I feel like he has the personality to get into a big spot, but he's just not reliable because he keeps having to pull out.
Right, totally. Oh, before I go, I know
Yeah.
Chael's probably waiting.
No,
probably
no,
getting mad at me.
he's in 10 minutes. We got all the. I was trying to be respectful of your time, please.
Where does Jose Aldo go? Do you think he re-signs with the UFC, or you think he pursues his boxing thing for big money?
So
Or did you already talk about this?
No, not at all. The reason I was pausing was because I would like to know these same answers. I reached out to his team to come on the show, and hopefully we can get him in the near future as my thing falls. I think he's done with UFC. I think he was done. I think he wanted to pursue some other things, and he had one
I do
fight
too.
left.
I think the only reason he just had to fight this one
He had
fight
to get it
on
out
his
of the
deal.
way, and it worked out great for everyone. He got a nice, send off at home. UFC got to add a little star power to the card once Pereira was moved off.
I feel like if that was the case, he would have said, like, I think if he was for sure that going that direction, I wonder if he would have said it.
So why say it? Why close any doors? Play the game.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, could be a negotiation tactic too.
I don't think there's any need to say it. And by the way, what if the UFC comes and offers him a boatload now?
Yeah.
I just feel like at this age, he kind of wants
More
to
than
do
you
some-
think he'd make in boxing?
Probably not. There's some like I know there was some talk of him fighting on the Jake Tyson card, but I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think the timing is going to work out because there's like the matching period and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
the matching period. And all
But that would be
stuff, yeah.
huge, right, for him? I mean, to
Yeah,
fight
it'd
on
be
that
crazy.
card, and he had the boxing fight against Jeremy Stevens and all that stuff. I think he just really likes to box at this point. What
Yeah, it looks like it.
other than fighting for the belt, and even if he fought for the belt, he's already been champion. Like, what is there for him to do? There's going to be a million Jonathan Martinez's and all these guys. Like, he can fight those guys until he's blue. But I don't know. You could
Right.
speak to
Well,
like,
that's the problem with the UFC. There's always another guy.
right.
Like you feel like, all right, I'm gonna, you beat the next guy. There's always the next guy.
It's like
Like,
if they offered you
you
right
don't ever
now a
feel
chance
like you
to slap fight, you would take it in a second.
Slap fighting?
Yeah, they would say like,
No, that's one I'm probably out on.
you wouldn't do it
I-
one night.
Yeah, maybe once.
Come on, I feel
Yeah, now that I
I
think
feel like
about
you
it.
would relish the opportunity to do it.
I would love to bare knuckle box. I mean, I would do it all probably once for sure.
You versus Mike
But-
Perry.
I don't know about being able to. I don't know that I could take a slap without flinching.
Really?
Like I think we're so trained and ingrained to not get hit.
Right.
I think it'd be hard to turn that part of your brain off.
Do you
You
think
get
they,
hit hard enough, I suppose your brain will go off
That's-
anyways. But
do you think they would let you do a bare knuckle? Just like a one-off?
probably not.
No.
No, probably not.
Who would be your dream
Especially
opponent
not
in bare knuckle?
Connor's not going to give me any money.
Who would be your dream opponent?
Man, I'll go with Mike Perry would be pretty fun.
Fuck. Isn't it amazing what he's doing? Like how
Yeah, he's
perfectly
built
he
for that
fits?
shit.
It's just
Yeah,
unbelievable.
he's built for that.
I'm just worried he's
Yeah.
going to run out of opponents, honestly.
Yeah, that's a valid problem for sure.
Who's signing up to fight that
I'd
guy?
like to see it. I mean, nobody good, probably.
Right.
Nobody good, probably.
Well,
Lots of people would.
other than Dylan Dennis.
I mean, Dylan Dennis is probably not signed up for that.
No,
I'd
but
imagine.
they've been going. You see, this is one of the good things about not being on social media. You don't get to see them going back and forth.
Oh, I missed out on a Dylan Dennis beef. That's too fucking bad.
you missed out on Dylan saying he's going to beat him and all this stuff, and like no one believes that.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's
no,
all this.
that's not happening.
No.
All right, dude. Well,
all
I'll
right.
stop asking you. Funny
No,
questions.
I love it. I
Not bad.
appreciate it. That makes me. I always feel bad when I ask people who I really like in the sport to come on because I feel like you only say yes because you feel guilty saying no. So the fact that you ask me some questions makes me feel less guilty about having to bother you.
No, I like doing this. Yeah, I mean, you were supposed to come on the BYM and you haven't done that yet.
Yo,
so-
I've not been invited. In fact, if we're gonna, we shoot
Uh-oh.
together. Well,
Okay.
I answer questions on Wednesdays, and one of the questions is, please ask Anthony why Michael Bisping hates you so much. And I'm like, I'm not gonna put him in that spot, but since you brought it up,
why he hates you?
yeah, why he hates me. Someone said, please ask
doesn't.
Anthony, but it was one of
He
the questions.
doesn't.
So I was like, what have I missed?
I think Michael likes. I think he likes poking at you.
That's fine.
I think that's why.
but I've not been asked.
But I don't.
I'll show up tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'll show
All
up
right,
Friday.
Well, on Monday. We'll see you on Monday.
Well, Monday is when I do my show. Now I know you don't want me on because that's my show day.
That's when we record.
Only Mondays?
Well, he records Thursdays and I record Mondays.
What does that mean? You don't record together?
Yeah, him and I are together on Mondays.
Oh, he does his own on Thursdays.
And he does
Typical
it on
Michael,
Thursdays.
wanting the spotlight for himself.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Doing his thing. See that? See, look at that. There it is. Now he's gonna poke you on
That's right,
Monday, and
that's
then you're gonna be
right.
mad about it.
I'm not mad. Anytime I'll carve out. You know what we could do? We could do a collab. We could do it
Oh, that's a great idea.
live here and live on yours.
Let's do it. All
No
right.
holds
We'll
barred.
talk about it.
All right.
I'll text you later.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.